All right, I think we're going to go ahead and get started as people continue to join. So good evening and welcome to the virtual VisionWalk kickoff. I'm Michelle DiVincenzo, Vice President of Events at the Foundation Fighting Blindness, and we appreciate everyone joining us for this evening's VisionWalk kickoff. I'm also really excited to announce that this fall we will resume in-person walks, but we will also continue to host a virtual VisionWalk, which will be held on Sunday, October 17th. I would like to briefly review some logistical details for tonight's call. Currently, all participant lines are in listen-only mode. Today's call is being recorded and available in closed captioning. To activate the closed captioning, please select closed captioning at the bottom of the interface. We also have an ASL interpreter available. Please ensure you have speak mode enabled. If you are using a screen reader, please be aware the controls are at the bottom of the Zoom interface. The control bar may collapse when not in use. If you prefer to prevent the controls from auto hiding, go to the settings within the Zoom platform, select accessibility, and then select always show meeting controls. To ask questions during the event, you can use the following methods. First, you may access the Q&A feature on the Zoom control bar to type in your questions, or you can text questions to 847-370-4902. Again, the phone number to text questions is 847-370-4902. If you joined in by telephone only and not on the Zoom app, please submit questions via email to visionwalk@fightingblindness.org. Again, visionwalk@fightingblindness.org. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Logan Moore, Events Manager in the South Region.
Hello, everyone. My name is Logan Moore, and I'm the Event Manager for the South Region. And first, I just want to take the time to thank all of you for attending tonight. We can't thank you enough for all your support during these challenging times, and we hope you're staying safe out there. We can't wait to be back together in person at all of our walks across the country with you. Well, I'm here tonight to talk about what to do in advance of the walk with an emphasis on fundraising. Now, the first thing you should do after you get registered for the Vision Walk is to personalize your Vision Walk page and share your story. I can't stress enough the importance behind this. Personalizing your page and sharing your story gives your donors not only the reason behind why you're participating, but also allows them to feel like they're on this journey with you. And it has been proven that donors are more likely to donate to a page that has been personalized. It gives them a better connection to the walk and to you as the person they're supporting. So remember to take some time and personalize those pages. The second thing everyone should do after registering is to simply tell everyone you know. While I know the idea of asking for donations isn't everyone's favorite thing, you'll never know who's willing to donate unless you make the ask. And more times than not, you'll find that people that you know are going to be willing to support you. And hey, maybe the person you ask can't support monetarily. That's fine. You then have a great opportunity to recruit them to the walk and help build your team and grow your overall team fundraising goals. Remember, the more walkers we have, the more people we have spreading awareness about the foundation and the great work we're doing to try and cure blinding diseases. Now, the next thing on our list is to host a personal fundraiser. Hosting fundraisers is a wonderful way to raise money, interact with your donors, and have some fun in the process. And the best part is you get to pick the type of fundraiser you want to do. So feel free to be creative. From bake sales to bowling nights, there's so many options out there to choose from, which is why we encourage you to get creative, plan something that you know your donors and you alike will have fun attending. And of course, plan a fundraiser that's going to help you achieve all the fundraising goals you set out for yourself. And the last thing I wanted to mention is to fundraise with sponsorships. Getting businesses, large or small, to sponsor your team at the walk is a great way to increase your fundraising while also helping those businesses. Companies who sponsor will be highlighted in VisionWalk communication materials, on social media channels such as Facebook, and even on our VisionWalk t-shirts. So don't be intimidated by the word sponsor. You don't need to know a CEO or GM necessarily. Just ask your manager or your human resources person. And don't forget, if you need help, the staff here at the foundation is more than willing to help you with this or any of your other fundraising efforts. So now I'd like to play a little game with everyone centered around ways you can help your fundraising efforts this year and hit those goals you set out for yourself. What I've done is throw together a Logan's top 5 list, and my question to all of you is, can you name 5 quick and easy events that you can host to raise money this year? So we're looking for 5 different easy to run, fun activities that you can do to maximize your fundraising efforts. It's kind of like Family Feud, only instead of surveying 100 people, I surveyed just myself. But don't worry, there are no wrong answers here. So let's see if we can't just name all the top 5. Please feel free to use the raise your hand function, and then we can call on you so you can give us your answer. All right, let's get started. Who's got an answer for me?
Let's do bowling.
Bowling. That is a great guess. And it is one that I struggle with. It was number 6 on my list. It just missed my top 5 this year. And bowling fundraisers are definitely great. And the only reason they missed out was because I was looking for the 5 quick and easiest ones I could come up with. So that's a great guess, just missing this year. Let's see. Looks like we got Heather.
Hi. Ask a restaurant to give a portion of their sales at a night to Fighting Blindness or your VisionWalk team.
Yes, exactly. That is in the top 5. Dine to donate nights are great fundraisers. They are super fun ways to get people out of the house for some good food, a good cause. It's always an appealing idea. And, you know, nowadays you have so many restaurants that are really popular that are things like Buffalo Wild Wings or Chipotle that do these Dine to Donate nights, and all you have to do is reach out and they are more than willing to work with you. So that is great. We got 1 down, we need 4 more. Who else has one out there? Let's see.
Someone mentioned a Chinese auction or a car wash.
Car wash. That is a classic one. It's been around since I've been fundraising as long as I can remember. Car washes are a perfect example and one that is definitely in the top 5. It is something that is low cost and can really bring in some additional dollars. Obviously, you know, they do require some manual labor, but it's nothing, you know, too strenuous or time consuming. And as long as the weather holds off, it's usually a pretty good day. So car wash has definitely made the top 5. That is 2. We are looking for 3 more out there.
And Logan, we have a J Mapes is raising his hand.
Well, it's Mark.
Oh, sorry.
Mark. Wine tasting.
Ooh, wine tasting. Now, that is one that I have utilized myself, admittedly, for fundraisers in the past. And that is one that I, again, struggled to want to put in there in the top 5. And my only reason I didn't include one like that in there was just because you may pigeonhole yourself a little bit on who might want to attend. And if we're trying to get the quickest and easiest and ones that can just hit so many people, wine tasting, again, great fundraiser, but just missing the top 5. And I did see, one in the chat for bake sales. That is definitely another good one, and it did make the top 5. Bake sales are really any cook-offs, you know, of food related. They're always a great option for fundraisers. They're pretty low maintenance to run. And let's be honest, food is always is a draw for people. So it's definitely one that I, again, have utilized myself as well. And it made the top 5. That is 3 of them. We got 2 left out there. Let's see, Marcia. Marcia going once.
It looks like Marcia Wolinski is muted. Marcia has to unmute.
Hi.
There you go. Hi, Marcia.
Hi. Hi. Actually, Fred wants to talk.
Oh, hi, Fred.
Hi, my suggestion was a birthday party.
Birthday parties, any type of gathering is always great. And I was looking at that one as well. It is definitely another one I've been a part of, and they are great fundraisers. And honestly, it was a 5A, 5B kind of scenario where I went back and forth on what I had in my 5 spot. So I'm giving you at least a half credit on that one. We're going to call that 5A, 5B.
Okay.
So I guess we're doing top 6 now.
Angie Nardini had one. And
Yeah, what about like a direct sales? For example, Pampered Chef shows where proceeds can go towards the foundation or for the fundraiser.
Yes, those are definitely good ones. It's one of those as well. I think it comes along the same lines as if you have the means to do it and you know a lot of people, it can definitely work and you can definitely generate funds. And unfortunately, I think for some people, it may not be as quick and easy, but it's definitely one, again, I've used as well in the past. Been fundraising for a few years, we'll say, and it just missed the top 5, but great guess on that. We're still looking for 2 more in the top 5.
Logan, I just wanted to throw out there that we have an expert on our call today who has spoken at our previous kickoffs. Kathy Fenstermacher has always done a great job with getting those kind of organizations and businesses to contribute. So she won't be speaking today about it, but we have some great speakers that will chat about their own stuff. But Kathy's always done a great job.
Logan, it looks like Susan has her hand up.
Yes, Susan.
Yeah, I would say a flea market.
Flea market, and I will say that is in the top 5 because it depends on what part of the country you're from. Some people call it a flea market, some people call it a garage sale, yard sale. It's got many names, obviously, and it is a great example of one where it, again, super easy. These are things you have around your house that's probably been collecting dust that you were struggling to get rid of, and now we're using them as a way to generate additional funds. It is a perfect example, and it definitely made the top 5. That is 4 down. We got 1 to go.
Hey,
Who
sir.
thinks they have the last one?
Frank Wynn is raising his hand. Frank, you want to go ahead?
Frank from Seattle.
Hi, Frank.
What about a scavenger hunt? And because, being blind, you need help. So what about that?
Scavenger hunts. Scavenger hunts are a great example. I can actually say that is, you stumped me on that one. I have not personally done that one as a fundraiser. So I think I'm going to have to give you credit just simply because I didn't have that on my board. That is a perfect example of one. And that's thinking outside the box, which is great because as I touched on earlier, we want you to be creative and come up with new ways to have fun with your fundraising. That's a great example.
Heather Napolitano had one that was a good example for our kids or families.
Nightline? Yeah,
Heather?
and lemonade stands.
The other classic.
Yeah.
Good.
We raised $313 in like 2 hours. It was
That's
fun.
amazing.
Yeah.
That again, right there is a perfect example. It's something quick, it's easy. And I only didn't put it in there because I already had the car wash one in my top 5. And I was trying to give some more ideas out there, but that's a perfect example of something, again, quick and easy that just works.
Logan has a top 5 and then 55 number 6s.
That is true. We're still looking for 1 more. Who thinks they have it?
Logan.
Angie?
Okay. You see it, Angie. Okay.
What about just direct asking? I mean, if just going to companies and just letting them know what you're doing and what it's about, and just bluntly just asking if they'd like to contribute.
Direct asking is always something that you can utilize. And in this case, I was looking more for the event side of things, but that is a perfect number 1 or 2 thing you should be doing, when you first start reaching out for fundraising. And it's a thing I think a lot of people struggle with, is just reaching out and making that ask, because as I mentioned earlier, you just never know. So that's a perfect example, Angie, of just making those asks, and that's how you're going to get people interested.
Yeah, and I was thinking more along the lines of just not so much our friends and family, but maybe actual companies. Like you were saying for the sponsor, just not just asking once, maybe, what is it, 2 no's and a thanks maybe next year.
Yeah, no, you couldn't be more right. Definitely asking for sponsorships, as I mentioned, is a great example because it does benefit the businesses as well. So that's definitely something I would strongly suggest utilizing.
I think Lenora might have it, the winner. Lenora? Nope.
Yeah, I'm here.
What was your idea?
A raffle.
A raffle. So I didn't have a raffle in there because I always try to utilize a raffle at the events to try to be an additional fundraising generator for revenue that night. Let me ask you, where would you want to utilize a raffle at? What type of event?
Like a beef and beer, maybe.
Type thing. Yeah, no, that I think again that goes right along with any kind of cook-offs event. Again, anytime you're adding food, people are going to be interested. So we're still missing the last one.
We have hands raised here, Angie. Angie Nardini's raised hands.
I already went.
Oh, all right. How about Michelle Garrell? That's Cincinnati.
Yeah. Okay, 2 ideas. This is crazy, but like a walk on your own, separate from like the vision walk, the actual walk. Like if you couldn't go to that or whatever, just do a separate walk. Or a golf tournament. Or softball tournament.
I'm glad you mentioned golf tournaments. So I did not have golf tournaments in there. It is definitely a great fundraiser. And the only reason I didn't keep golf tournaments in the top 5 is just because of logistics. They can be a little difficult at times for people to run, and because of some of the costs associated. I mean, if you're able to, definitely go for it. They are a fun fundraiser to do. But I kept them out of the top 5 just because I felt it wasn't in that quick and easy category.
So Sue mentioned a yard sale. How about a yard sale?
Yeah, so earlier it was coined a flea market, and I mentioned that it depends on where you are in the country. Sometimes it's called yard sale, sometimes it's called garage sale. You are correct. It's definitely in the top 5.
Logan, can you give us a hint of what the last one might be?
Yes. So this is something that appeals to all ages. You can have it inside, inside or outside if you have the proper. I almost said the right word to give it away, but it involves being able to watch and take in some snacks in the process.
Movie night.
Who thinks they have it?
How about a movie night?
There it is. Boom. Movie nights have become super popular because they're actually quite easy to run. It's something that doesn't require a lot. It's low maintenance. You just need a place to show it, some movie theater snacks, and you got a ready-made fundraiser. It is perfect, easy, and quick, and that rounds out our top 5. So we got it all. Well done, everyone. Thank you all so much for participating tonight. I hope my part of the program has helped inspire you to get out there and have some fun with your fundraising this year. And as always, stay safe, and thank you for helping us continue funding our mission to find treatments and cures for blinding diseases. Now I'm going to pass it on to Linda for the next part of our program. Thank you.
Thanks, Logan. That was really fun. We're going to have some speakers from our community, different people who are going to share their ideas with us. Our first one is Dr. Scaria. He's from our Boston VisionWalk, and he's our science chair. He works at Iveric Bio, and he has hosted his own team in Boston and walked as part of Iveric Bio's team in New York City. and he'll share some research updates as well as some VisionWalk participation and fundraising notes. Dr. Scaria?
Yeah, can you hear me? I think I'm unmuted.
We can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, so so there's 2 or 3 different topics. So one of the main ones I'm going to do is an update on research that's been ongoing in the last few years. This is a lot of this, started with money that you raised. So thanks for supporting the foundation, and all the money that we raised, of course, went into all these research projects that at many prestigious institutions around the world, and some of those have now entered clinical trials. So there's a long list here that I have, but I'll just mention a few. These fall into the categories of gene therapies, stem cells, and other types of pharmaceutical drugs, right? So a few to mention that clearly started out with funding from the FFB. There's a company called ProQR that's in the clinic with therapies both for USH2A or Usher's type 2A, and also for LCA type 10, which is sometimes you also call it CEP290. So here's an example where the FFB initially had invested several $1 million into the research, and now it's pretty exciting that's in the clinic, and hopefully we'll see some really good results soon. Another example of FFB funded research that's gone to the clinic is a company called Nacuity, which has an antioxidant molecule. It's trying it out for many different types of diseases, and I'm getting some echo, but I think it's gone now. Yeah, so they're trying it in retinitis pigmentosa, in Usher's, and multiple other retina diseases. Another example of FFB funded stuff is there have been several trials started for X-linked RP, or RPGR, as some people call it. And that started with some really exciting work done in a dog model of this disease. And now there were 3 companies doing it, and currently there are 2 that are moving into later stage trials. One is AGTC down in Florida, and then Mira GTX. So there's about 45 different clinical trials ongoing for several retinal diseases. And one other thing I want to mention is the efforts that FFB has for genetic testing. And this is completely at no cost to the patient, right? So any patient that wants to find out what genetic defect they have in terms of the retina, the FFB will fund that testing. So not only will you get a diagnosis, but then also you'll learn whether, what kind of clinical trials you might be eligible for. And another place to look for that is something called My Retina Tracker. So if the patient chooses to be part of that, the patients will automatically get on the radar of companies that want to do trials for these diseases. So there's 2 ways, of doing it, getting tested and then registering yourself in the retina tracker. So that's, a quick update on the research. And from a personal side, in terms of fundraising, I've been part of the FFB fundraising efforts in Boston. As you can see from my backdrop, I live in Boston, but I work for a company in New York called Iveric, which is a strictly retina-focused company. And we work on multiple things, including macular degeneration, Stargardt's, and something called BEST1 disease, and also on autosomal dominant retinitis pigmentosa. So we have several projects going on. Some of them are in the clinic. For our macular degeneration projects are in the clinic right now, and we are in late stage in phase 3 testing. And in terms of the company sponsorship, was a couple of things we've done in the last year are sponsor the Night for Sight event that we had earlier this year. And our CEO, Glenn Splendorio, was honored at the inaugural Beacon Society thing. That was just in June this year. So this is I think my 12th or 13th year with the Boston Vision Walk. I started out when I was at a company called Genzyme and Sanofi. We had a team that walked and raised funds for the FFB. And then I worked with a different company called Casibia, where we also had a team. And then this year, we'll have the Iveric team walking in person in October in Boston. So yeah, so that's all I had on my list of things to say. Katie, anything else I missed?
I think you got it, Abraham. There was
Okay.
just one question that came in the chat that maybe you know the answer to. It
Okay.
asked if a phase 2 to 3 trial doesn't get the desired result, does the trial start over or do they reassess from the most recent stage? And if you don't have the answer, then we will get that answer to you, Eric.
Yeah, so it depends on why it did not get the desired results. If it is just a question of not having enough patients in the different groups, then you can, go back and do another phase 3 trial. But if it is because of some other issue with the drug and it's not working and you need to make a new drug, then you got to go start all over again with phase 1. If you actually have to change the drug. If it is just a question of redesigning the drug or using a different clinical endpoint to prove that the drug is working, then you just need to do another phase 3 trial. I hope that answers the question.
That's great. Thank you so much, Dr. Scaria. That was very interesting. We appreciate it. If anyone has more questions, you can put them in the chat and we can get back to you on those.
Yeah.
So thank you so very much. Our next speaker is Morgan Estes. She is our youth chair of our Indianapolis Vision Walk, and her mom, Lexi, is our Vision Walk chair. Together, they raise money for their team, which is called Morgan's Visionaries, by having a bake sale. And they raise a lot of money doing that every year. So Morgan, are you on the phone? Are you able to tell us about your bake sale? Morgan was having some problems with the Zoom connection. So Morgan, are you there? Well, Morgan, if you're on mute, you can press *6 and that would take you off mute. Hopefully you can hear us. Well, why don't we move on? And Morgan, if you come back later, I'll check with you when we're done with the others. Our next speaker is Susan Jacom. She is an HR generalist from Everite and Hurite. And they're a large eye care group in Pittsburgh, and they've been a great sponsor and a fundraising group for the Pittsburgh Vision Walk. Susan?
Good evening, everybody. Not sure where you are in Pittsburgh here. It's about 8:30. So thanks everybody for coming to this meeting and inviting me to speak a little bit. As far as what Everett Hurite has done in the past, I'm kind of new with the company. My first Vision Walk was in 2019. I was probably about a month old with our organization, so I really didn't get a chance to see a whole lot of what we did. I got to see firsthand of what we did from a fresh eyes, but unfortunately I didn't see too much in the backfield as to how it took to put together the team. But we did quite a bit. I did speak to a lot of people who had some experience in the past. And we do things like eye poppers where we try to sell them to our patients and our staff. It's a very easy. Steve is actually able to send those out. You sell them to your staff for like $1 a piece. You put their name and then you hang it on the wall. Real easy fundraising activity. We've had bake sales, where a lot of our employees just really love to bake. So they'll bake cookies, and any proceeds, they will donate them to Vision Walk. We had a craft show. One of our employees actually came in with all of the things that they have made over the year, right around Christmas time, when everybody wants to buy stuff for their stockings and things like that. So we, we raise some money that way. We do basket raffles. Now, what we usually do is we vet department against department and see who could come up with the nicest basket. And, we have each department build their own. Now, we are fortunate. We have a couple different locations. So sometimes we'll do a department, sometimes we'll do just a location. And that seems to raise quite a bit at the, at the event itself. We created we call it the HR Snack Shack. Those of you in HR, most people don't like to walk into the HR department, but when you have snacks, they're very happy to come in. So what we've done is we've purchased some snacks that everybody likes, and we do an honor system. Put in the money that you have available to donate towards VisionWalk. There's a little collection box, and when it fills up, we turn the money in. We've collected well over $100 in just a few months, just from people wanting to eat. It's taken away some of the vending machine money too. We're looking at expanding that. If we would look at expanding that if we had the room. We have employees that really like to do crafts again, and they've made bracelets where we put them on at the front desk, and when patients come in, it's really popular with our pediatric groups. The kids come in, they love the bracelets. We charge $1. The moms or parents aren't afraid to throw $1 in the jar for a good cause, and the children are happy. So that has been a really huge hit. We raffle off some sporting tickets. So if we have hockey tickets or football tickets, we'll raffle those off. We usually get our physicians to donate, something, a quality game, and we'll raffle those tickets off. We'll raffle off sports jerseys and sweaters. Those are a huge hit, because who doesn't want a Sidney Crosby jersey, or a Ben Roethlisberger jersey, or you could even go back to, old school and pull something from the 70s or 80s. That really, there's a lot of people that show up at the Pittsburgh event, just a wide variety of age ranges. So, you could have a current team jersey, someone who's currently playing, or somebody from a blast from the past, a good Hall of Famer always works. We've done 50-50 raffles where you just collect money, and half the winnings just goes right into the funds. So it's that's a very easy one. You sell tickets, and your staff buy them, and you pull a name, and a month later you do it again. Everybody loves to try to win money. Sometimes you get the winners to actually donate the money right back to the fund itself. So that's always a win-win for everybody. We do put out jars out on our front desk with people asking for loose change. It's kind of hard now because we do a lot of things plastic, but some people still have some loose change in their pocket. We'll always take that. One of the new things that we've done this year is we had a relocation of one of our offices, and we have some old office furniture. So we're selling it, and all the money we collect from the old office chairs, instead of throwing them in the trash in the dumpster, people are coming to buy them, and we're, little by little, we're collecting some money and throwing it into the hat. So there's a lot of things, a lot of different areas that we've been out to, been able to sell tickets or raffle things off. I mean, people always like to get something just for having, if you give $1, you get something in return. Nobody gets away from the bubblegum machine, so we kind of think on that aspect, something little that costs very little money, a small donation gets you the reward. So, there's all kinds of swag out there that you could buy. It's a good advertisement for yourself and a fundraising collection things like, job fair swag, the mini hand sanitizer bottles, or the lip gloss, or, the chip clip, or whatever, the sticky note that has your logo on it. Just go out and get yourself a bunch of logo wear, put it out and say logo wear donations requested, minimum of $1, and people will buy that stuff up like there's no tomorrow. I mean, if any of you have ever been to a job fair, the better toys you have on your table, the more people show up. So it not only gets people to come to your table, come to your booth, but it gets the message out, and it's a free advertisement for your office. So, whatever you could do, I think that, our team is just really excited. We didn't know if it was going to go off this year or not, so we're kind of getting a late start on it this year. But we have letters going out to all of our vendors asking them to donate. If they can, bring in a meal, even if it's, we want to raffle something off, like with our basket raffle, and winner gets to have a lunch sponsored by one of our vendors. We're just using anything we can. We reach out to everybody. It's a simple letter with a mail merge. A couple people on our team will fold and stuff the envelopes. Actually, we have a machine that'll do that, but throw a few stamps on it, on the envelopes, mail them out, send an email. Very easy to do. Very no time behind it whatsoever, and it brings tons of money in. I mean, every year we're just amazed on how much that we're able to bring in for the race for the cure. So we just really want a cure for vision. You see, I wear the goggles too. So I'm all for trying to find a way to be able to have 20/20 vision again. That would, I've been wearing glasses since I was probably 6 years old, and now they're Coke bottles. So would love to be able to see that cure come through. So
thank you so much, Susan. That
Thanks,
was
Susan.
just amazing. So many fabulous ideas if you work for a company. That's fantastic. Thank you. One of our attendees, Lynn, said that he's going to have a jeans day in their office where if people want to wear jeans, they have to, pay $5 to the VisionWalk in order to wear jeans on a certain day that they choose. So that's another fun one to do for a company. But wow, Susan, you guys are amazing. You sure do a lot. Thank you so much for all those ideas.
Linda, can I get some in here real quick?
Sure.
So, Susan, thank you, Everett and Hurite. They've actually inspired me their ideas for all their office fundraising has inspired me. Some of their staff members have talked with my people in Illinois Retina in Illinois and their groups to do similar things. And also in Wisconsin at Wisconsin Vision, they're going to be starting to do similar things because of what Everett and Hurite in Pittsburgh has done. And it's a cool idea of all the other things that I'm sure other offices across the country would be interested in if they're not doing it already. But those are three of mine that were inspired just because of what they've done. So nice job, Susan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
That's fabulous. Way to go. Thank you. Okay, our next person who's going to tell us about their fundraising is Jessie Wolinski. She's been involved in the Los Angeles chapter and the VisionWalk for 15 years. She's very active in the visually impaired community and is our wonderful Los Angeles walk chair. Take it away, Jessie.
Hey, everyone. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I'm so excited to be here and to talk a little bit about my involvement with the FFB and specifically VisionWalk and all the fundraising that I've done. I've been fortunate enough to be the VisionWalk chair for a few different years, but I've been the chapter president for the LA chapter for the past few years. But as far as VisionWalk goes, I've been involved since the very beginning, once we first started in 2006. And that year specifically was such a huge year for my family and I, because not only were we able to have 70 walkers come out and join us, and not only were we able to raise over $40,000, but that was the year that my family and I really felt hopeful for my future. So I was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa at the age of 7. And for everyone else who is going through losing their sight, they know how incredibly difficult it is. And it has really been a struggle for me and my family to come to the reality of this condition and these type of retinal diseases. So on that first Vision Walk day, when we really felt like we can be a part of ending blindness and just how huge that is and how much power we felt from that, it really made me think of my future in a completely different way. And I have held on to that hope and that passion. And that is what has brought me back year after year to raise thousands of dollars every year for the past 15 years with my fundraising team, Jessie Sight Savers. And I'm so fortunate that I've been able to raise over $200,000 for blindness research in that time. And I have very, very big goals. That number is only going to double and triple until I see these diseases come to an end in my lifetime. And I feel like through the support of the Foundation Fighting Blindness and through the efforts of this Vision Walk event specifically, that dream I really think is going to be a reality. And I just have so much hope. And I just cannot wait that I can't believe it's Vision Walk time again. And this is my #1 favorite time of year, more than Christmas, Hanukkah, anything else, because I get to share my story and see that money come in. And I know that fundraising sometimes can be a little tricky, especially for me when I've been doing it for so long. I'm like, oh my gosh, are people getting tired of me year after year, asking for money? But I've never had any hesitation about it because every year I get more and more support from people. My friends and family continue to support me. And I've also been able to get the support of people that I have never met before. So when Logan was talking about personalizing your page, that is such a big thing for me. Making my efforts as personal as possible has been what has made me and my fundraising efforts so successful. So from that very first Vision Walk, I wrote out a letter about my experience and my condition and how I felt, and honestly, how afraid I was of losing my sight, and really just calling on the people in my life to help me out in any way possible, whether it's $5, whatever it is, there's no donation too small. And I've written a letter every single year like that with the donation link to my Classy page. And I'm not kidding, I carry those letters around everywhere that I go. I email them to everyone I've ever met, and I will just hand them out to strangers. And it sounds completely crazy, but I have had people I've never met donate and who have continued to donate year after year. And the thing is, you never know who you're going to meet who has someone in their life who's affected by something like this. And you never know who you're going to meet. Maybe they have no idea what these diseases are about. They don't know someone who's affected, but they just want to help. And I have had so much experience with people just wanting to, do good in the world. So I think that making a personalized effort is really, really a key thing. And that's like my biggest fundraising tip is don't be afraid to be open and to be vulnerable, whether you're the person going through this struggle or your family members are, your children, whatever it is. Personalize that story and make people know why you're fundraising and why it's so important to you and how they can be such a big part of, honestly, your future or your loved one's future, because that is what's kept me coming back every single year, is the fact that not only are we raising money, and the more and more money that we raise, the more and more hopeful that I get that I'm going to be able to have vision for the rest of my life. And I really, really, truly believe that. And it is really all thanks to the FFB and to Vision Walk. And I know sometimes, it can be a little nervous getting your story out there. It took me some time to find comfortability with it, but it has been the absolute best thing for me and for the money that I'm trying to bring in. We just keep bringing in more and more. And that's because I think people connect so well to my story. So don't be afraid to open up about it. And honestly, if anyone has any questions for me, or if they need any other tips and tricks, I'll put my email down in the chat. So please feel free to reach out to me, because you guys give me so much hope. And I know that my future is going to be so much brighter because of all of your efforts. So thank you so much.
And thank you, Jessie. Wow, that was really so inspirational. Someone in the chat actually said that you should be a motivational speaker, and I totally agree with them. That was excellent.
Thank you.
And as you can see, passion goes a really long way. I think, I mean, you've raised so much money, and you could tell why sharing your story and being passionate about it rallies people around your cause. So thank you for everything, Jessie.
It really does. Thank you so much for having me here.
Sure. The next person we have is Heather Napolitano. She's our Philadelphia VisionWalk team captain and founder of the very successful multi-year fundraiser, the Seashore Fest. She's also a past Philadelphia Walk Chair and chapter president. So tell us about it, Heather.
Hi guys, nice to meet you. I'm here. Heather is my husband Dom. He's my partner in crime, so he's sitting here too. Jessie, I just wanted to say too, I loved hearing your story. Make me cry. I love your passion. And I second what you said about when I first started losing my vision. Gosh, it's been almost 10 years, 9 years, I guess. It was really, really scary. And we didn't find FFB until about 2 years into it. And I remember just being that first vision walk and being like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. And my vision is very complex. My top friend of doctors will say the same. It's a 3 different things that's causing it. They actually just found something new.
Maybe, I don't know if that was
but again, it's about telling your story and being vulnerable, like you said, and people want to hear. And also what you said is people a lot of times know somebody that is suffering.
Do you have any way of knowing which of these black characters?
And they don't want to feel alone.
Mine has an FFB sticker on it.
So,
So
what
both
my
yours
husband and I
and yours are
started
brand new.
after Vision Walk.
Heather, can you hang on, Heather? Is there somebody that has their mute off? Because we're in some background conversation. I want to make sure we can hear Heather. Thanks, everybody.
Okay. So we moved to Rehoboth Beach, and my daughter actually popped up. I don't know if you saw her. It's hard to believe my first vision walk, our first vision walk, she was in my belly. I was pregnant with her, and now she's popping up here. It's crazy how time flies. But we moved to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, and I used to work for Red Bull Energy Drink for a really long time. And an owner of a popular restaurant here has a big parking lot, and we knew him. And I said, can we have an event here? And he's like, yeah, you can have the whole parking lot. And all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh, this is happening. And we tried to figure out what we were going to do. And fast forward, we'll be doing our 6th annual one this year. And it's completely off of Price is Right, the Punch a Bunch. We call them punch boards. And my husband, it's happening in 2 weeks. So it's actually behind us because we're currently filling it. The punch board actually has 60 punches, and every punch is $20. And behind every punch is a prize value $25 or more. And the first year we had 1 punch board, and it went really fast. We're like, oh my gosh, what do we do now? And so now this will be our 6th annual, because we couldn't have it last year. We have 4 punch boards this year, and one of our punch boards is actually going to be $40 or more, with every prize being $50 to $400. So we're super excited about that. And then we also have some raffles, money towards a beach house rental, and lots of different things. But just to kind of go off of what other people are saying, that first year we went around this community and didn't really know a lot of people, because we just moved here from Baltimore. It was a little nerve-wracking because I was telling my story and I had like a 1 sheet. But then all of a sudden people said, yes, what would you like? A $25 gift card, or would you like in kind? Would you like merchandise? And we're like, oh my gosh, like this is happening. And now we were just very at it. Like we have a Facebook event page called Seashore Fest, SEE Shore Fest, if you want to check it out. But when you'll see it, like anyone that donates, we thank them thoroughly. We follow up with it. We mention maybe 1 or 2 things about their business. And as the years have gone on, people will see on the event page that it's back, and they'll actually text me now and say, hey, I haven't seen you stop by. I have a bag waiting for you. And like every time it's just really cool. So like a friend works for a sports marketing company, and we had told him, if you have anything that comes up like across, he just texted us today, and he has an autographed Seth Curry jersey that he's framing with the authenticity, I can never say that word, authenticity.
Certificate.
Yeah, certificate.
Authenticity, right.
So he just was like, I'm going to drop it off at your house. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. So I think it's just like about a combination of what other people have been saying. It's about doing the ask and just thinking outside the box, but then also like sharing your story, sharing the passion. And one of the biggest things for us is awareness, because when I first started losing my vision, we were just petrified and we felt so alone. And I think just knowing there's other people out there that want to hear your story and want to understand. And for all of us on the phone, I mean, saying that you can't see, nobody can tell that. And I would never want anyone to experience what we experience, but there's such a gray area between being able to see and not being able to see. And I think that's one of the most important things. The two blind brothers put their story out. They supported this year. They sent all their sock bundles and they sent 4 $100 gift cards. Like, I just have gotten to know them, and FFB kind of brought those brothers to the table too. So I don't know. I think it's just about reaching out to people that would never, you don't know what they're going to say, and really relying on the community that you live in to get involved and make it all age groups. Cause like my kids love to go around and ask their friends, and also the sponsors that Logan talked about. So it's not even about the in-kind or maybe, but ask them, would you like to be a sponsor? Like, we learned that from the VisionWalk, and we have presenting sponsors. We have, ours only go up to 500. But at the same point, like, we have, I think, 8 this year. That's going to be. So it's about like just kind of making that ask and then following up and making sure that they know how appreciative and thankful for you that we are for their support. And then all of our money from Seashore Fest goes to mainly the VisionWalk and Foundation Fighting Blindness. And this past year, my low vision doctor at the Eye Institute of Philadelphia, we also give some money to them because they give it to people that have low vision and can't afford any aids. So we do that too.
That's fantastic, Heather. Wow. Another amazing idea, and getting so many people in your community to support you. Fantastic. Well, good luck with your event in a few weeks. Can't wait to hear all about it.
Can I say one thing, Linda?
Sure.
Sorry, I like to follow up, but Heather, as I wrote in the chat, she is amazing at following up and thanking people, and that grows every year because people remember that. And as I wrote in the chat, I've never seen so many people when Heather announced the initial that it was her event was on this year, in the comments saying, "What do you need from us? We're with you this year. We're donating this," all that stuff. And wow, if any of us could mimic that and have that much success, really, I've done this a long time and I've never seen anything like that. So it shows how much people appreciate hearing from her, and the thanks, and just the follow-up from Heather is really something that we should really be following as much as we can.
Yes, follow-up is very important. Thanking our supporters is huge. So good point.
Lines at the end of each year, we'll send out a letter thanking people, and it's a small touch, and you got to pay for the stamp, but it's goes a long way because they do remember that.
Absolutely, it's very important. Well, thank you, Heather, so much for sharing your story.
Thanks for letting me share it.
Absolutely. We're going to be going back to Morgan Estes. I'm hoping that she can share her story with us. Morgan, again, is our youth chair from Indianapolis, and she and her mom do a bake sale every year. Morgan, are you on the phone? Can you talk with us? Well, I was sure hoping that Morgan was going to be able to join us again.
She's probably baking.
She's probably baking. You know what? I bet you're right. Well, I'll tell you what, they raise over $1,000 every year with their bake sale. They're really amazing. And their whole family is involved, as you can tell, in the VisionWalk, from Morgan being our youth chair and her mom, Lexi, being our walk chair. They're really an amazing family and great supporters of the Indianapolis VisionWalk. We truly appreciate it. So we will hear from Morgan next time around. How about that? So thank you all for sharing your amazing stories with us. And now I'm going to turn it over to Katie to tell us about Classy.
Hey, hi, everyone. We just had all these exciting presentations and speeches, and everyone is just wonderful and so amazing. So I'm back into a little bit of the nitty gritty of the VisionWalk and our system. So bear with me, but it's important information for you guys to have, and I hope you find it helpful. So the first thing I want to update, and this is something that some of you may be aware of, but it's always bears repeating, is that the website we use for the VisionWalk is called Classy. It's the company that hosts it. And when we first started that first year, I know that there was a lot of problems with accessibility, which is something that we fought for with the company, and that a lot of you guys put in a lot of time and effort into sharing your experiences to help elevate those requests for it to be improved. So last summer, they did do a huge upgrade, and they added in the voiceover accessibility, which is something that was definitely missing. And we were really excited about that. So if you haven't experienced the website in a while, definitely encourage you to try it again. But as we know, every time a website gets updated or an app gets updated, something always breaks. So if you are using our site and you're finding that something isn't working for accessibility the way it should, or that you want it to, let your events manager know, your events team, or you can email me directly, and we send all of those reports of any issues on the site with accessibility directly to the head of the product to make sure that that's going well. So first and foremost, we want this site to be usable and friendly, so we can offer trainings, we can offer support, but we can also flag real issues up the line. So just keep that in mind as you are using the site this year. So I also wanted to highlight just a few FAQs that we often get from folks during the course of their VisionWalk participation with the website. The first one is the really simple, how do you access your page? And this comes up a surprising amount. So the first thing you would do is, after you've registered, you can click on the login button that's on the upper right part of the screen. And if you're using the same email address that you used last year, you can use that same password that you set up last year. Now, if you can't remember that password, if your email address has changed, if something's not working, you can always use the forget password button or talk to the staff members, because we can get your password reset for you. So just let us know if we can be of help with that.
I did.
Is there a question?
Anybody else?
Okay. So just make sure, and they also, when you have registered, they do send you an email that says to claim your page, and you can set your password through there as well. We have noticed that email sometimes gets caught in people's spam filters, so please do check there too. But if the staff can always help you get set up if you can't find that email or if it's not working for you. The second question actually refers back to something that several people mentioned during their presentations, and it's personalizing your page. Once you have logged in on your page, there is a button in the upper right corner that says Manage. And if you're a team captain, that button that says Manage will also appear on your team page. And in that section, when you click on Manage, you can update your goal, your story, your photo. You can thank donors. You can start prepping emails to go out for your asks. All of those different things can be done from the Manage section, and a lot more. So you can try in there. You can also ask for help from, again, any of the events team. They can help you get set up with all of that, but you are able to update just about everything right from the site by logging in and clicking on Manage. And then the last one I wanted to kind of mention is about the thank you process. That's something that's different. It's not just a simple email that gets sent out like it was in our old system for those who participated years ago with the old website. When you do a thank you in Classy, it acts kind of like a social media newsfeed, where whatever activity someone posted, say someone registered or someone donated, if you mark to thank them, it actually appears directly on the screen with their donation, with their activity. And so it thanks them publicly, but it also sends them an email saying that that you commented on their feed or on their activity with what you have written. So it's publicly available, but it also sends them that direct email. So we still recommend sending out letters to all your donors at the end of the season, letting them know how much you've raised overall. But for that instant quick thank you, you can do it right on the page publicly and sending them that, and it automatically sends them that email. So those are a few really quick updates and hints on using our site. But any questions you guys do have, you have an entire events team that's available, happy to help, happy to get you set up, and really just, doing anything we can to make sure you're successful with whatever you need help with. So with that, I will turn it over to Michelle Goldfarb Shapiro to talk about some of the other tools that you have available to you beyond just our website. So Michelle.
Thank you so much, Katie, and good evening, everyone. As Katie mentioned, I am the Director of Events who oversees the West Region, and I'm going to be sharing some tips about our toolkit as well as tips and tricks about social media. So as it was discussed during our wonderful leaders speaking about their fundraising tips and tricks, unfortunately, sometimes fundraising can be a bit challenging. So we have created a wonderful toolkit with resources to help you navigate the fundraising process. In this toolkit, you will find sample fundraising letters and emails, fundraising ideas, as well as social media tips and sample posts, as we know the importance of utilizing social media to help spread awareness and raise funds. In this toolkit, we also have a section that will include some information and websites about different online platforms you all can use, such as Google Hangouts and Skype. And we know that navigating these platforms can sometimes be a bit confusing. So if there is anything you all need help with, please connect with your event manager and we will be happy to assist you. We will be sending out the toolkit via email, and we also will have it available for download in the near future on visionwalk.org, which is our website. In the toolkit, we have both our national and local social media pages, and you can find our national social media handles and local chapter pages. So what this means is, for example, I'm going to shout out to San Diego. San Diego has a Facebook page, they have an Instagram page, and we have the hyperlinks there. So it's really easy for one to find the specific walk that you will be participating in. And then you can follow if you are on social media on Facebook and or Instagram. Another important tip we'd be sure to share with your team is, if you do have social media, to share the team link to your page on Facebook. It's a great way to garner support, as your friends can easily click on the link that will take them directly to your page. Lastly, if you are very active on Facebook, there's a few things that you can do to get in the Vision Walk mood. And that includes making sure any pictures you post relating to the Vision Walk, you use our hashtag VisionWalkStrong. We also have a frame that you can put onto your profile picture on Facebook, and the description for how to do so is in the toolkit. You can also create a Why I Am Walking video, and we are happy to share it on your behalf. And we also would encourage you to share it on your Facebook page or share it via email with your friends and loved ones. You also can change your cover photo if you want to some Vision Walk options, and we're happy to send those your way. And then lastly, we will be posting new Vision Walk content on Facebook and Instagram. And if you all would be willing to like our posts and share them on your page, this is also a wonderful way to get the word out about your local event. As I mentioned, all the previous social media tips and tricks will be able to be located in our toolkit with step-by-step instructions. Lastly, if you need help with fundraising strategies, donor letters, and social media posts, please reach out to us and we are more than happy to help you.